iCAN. My name is Gina Calarco. I work for LabCorp, which is a laboratory services company in the United States, but globally it also has a drug development side where we do sponsored clinical trial work, and that's the side of the company I sit on. I'm a senior director of strategy and planning, and I sit within the rare diseases, advanced therapies, and pediatrics team. So what that means is I help develop operational strategies, how we conduct clinical protocols in pediatric and rare disease populations. My background is I am a pediatric nurse. I began my career in the neonatal intensive care unit, and most of my career has been spent in the pediatric space, and the last almost 20 years within clinical trial work. I will say I also have personally over the last year have joined the land of the unwell, having a cancer diagnosis, and that has contributed greatly to my personal knowledge and layered into the work I do, having experienced such a big illness and treatment pathway that isn't the easiest either. So it kind of plays into how I think about patients in clinical trials. Knowledge sharing and educating each other is really important in the mentor-mentee relationship. Most of my mentors have naturally just come into place, and they're not necessarily people who are above me. I accept mentorship wherever it comes, and one of my really early experiences with this came from I was a project manager and the clinical trial assistant on the project. Grace was her name, and we still maintain contact to this day and learn from each other. It's a back and forth relationship for us. Mentor and mentee is indiscernible at this point. But Grace had a way of communicating via email, on the phone, with me as her project manager above her, with the sites she worked with, the different team members above and below her. We all loved working with Grace because she was kind, she was genuinely interested in how we were, and that came through in how she communicated in email or on the phone or in meetings. And it really shaped how I work to this day, focusing on the individual I'm speaking with, their needs, recognizing the life we have outside of work, genuinely interested in how a person is, and maintaining just simple kindness and niceties. That was such a teachable moment that Grace gave me early on in my project management days and really shaped how I communicate to this day. I've also had mentors come in the form of what not to do. So again, early on in my project management days, as I was being transitioned onto a pediatric clinical trial, my project director, who is above me, was a difficult personality to work with for the customer we were working with, for the pharmaceutical company we were working with, and a pretty poor listener. And that was an equal learning experience of what not to do. So this was a silent mentorship where I just recognized a lesson in front of me of how not to work with customers, and how to listen, receive difficult conversations, and adjust my own communication around those difficult conversations to find solutions. Something that this person didn't embody very easily or well, that solution-oriented mentality and that listening mentality. She became very defensive, and it obstructed finding solutions and working together collaboratively to find a solution to a difficult challenge. So, mentors can come into your life silently and teach you what not to do as much as they can teach you what to do or guide you through your career. My probably biggest mentor to date has been my line manager for the bulk of the last 9-ish years. She's no longer my line manager, but she's still my mentor, which is Cindy Jackson, a pediatrician. And I was working with Cindy on a pediatric clinical trial. She was my medical monitor, and I was the project manager. So but I immediately honed in that she had a passion for pediatric clinical trial work and was trying to create better solutions for that customized to pediatric patients. And that was, just music to my ears, and the space I worked in too. So from that early project work, Cindy went on to develop a pediatric center of excellence at that company, and then moved over to LabCorp to develop a similar team, which I now sit on. I followed her over here, and it was, she's been a wonderful mentor about how to navigate developing unique value in a large company, how to navigate business, the business side of the work I do, and stay true to my own core values and the work I want to do and the career path I want to take. She was also a great example of work-life balance. As I came into motherhood, she was my line manager and really offered sound advice for how to manage work-life balance now with children, babies in my life. And it led by example, which is another key leadership trait. If you want those below you to exemplify and be developed in the way you want, you should demonstrate those values that you wish them to have. And Cindy was a great mentor in that avenue. Her always providing constructive feedback and also cheerleading me on, especially when I experienced failures or knew I wasn't my best work or best foot forward. She was a cheerleader instead of coming down hard on me. She just pointed out the lessons to be learned and the effort that it took to get to that place, and what a great thing that is. So she taught me a lot of these traits that I find valuable in a leader.